Good morning. This is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, good morning and hello, kids. Okay, let's try that again. Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and episode number 223 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Yeah. Today, recording day is Thursday, October 5th, 2023, and it is going to be a lovely day once again here at the Beaver Lodge. I'm the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, and with me as always is my good friend, Mr. Grizzly. Thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. We have a Thursday morning nipple for you, but before we do anything else, let's say good morning to Mr. Grizzly and ask, maybe not ask, more like hope that there's been a positive uptick in mental health.
Well, good morning, Mr. Beaver. I was in bed at 9 p.m. last night, and I didn't wake up till, I had to wake up to, use the toilet as one does when one gets over 50. But I slept through till 6:30 this morning.
Nice.
So I think that was much needed. I'm feeling a little bit better today. I'm not there yet, but I'm not in the deep hole I was in a couple of days ago. So yeah, turning the corner. I think it's going to take a little bit more time, but I'm getting there. So yeah, thanks.
All right, good. I know that all the kids are sending you good vibes. I read the comments after the show yesterday, and so you're getting a lot of healing energy being sent your way.
Excellent. I think that might be helping.
Okay. Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt
Right.
hurt at all.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. In the news, there's lots of stuff going on. I really don't know where to start, to be totally honest. Yesterday was an extremely busy day. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants this morning. With regard to the stuff that's been going on with the incident in the House of Commons, it seems that the calls to release information that was kept secret during the Dushenka Commission, because we talked about the CEO of the B'nai B'rith, who had made that call, and it seems it's coming from a wider and wider group, and that the federal government yesterday has announced that it's considering releasing the names of Nazis in Canada that were identified decades ago when it was looking to this, because as we reported on the show, there were two parts to the report. The first part that was public, and the second part, which remained secret or redacted, or I'm not even sure if any of it is available for the public, and it's and it's heavily redacted or not available at all. But that information has been kept secret. We had another incident. Well, not another incident, but back in 1987, there's a man that was named Peter Severin. And he was appointed to the Order of Canada, and it turns out that he probably was also, or maybe it has been established that he was a member of the Second World War Nazi unit Waffen SS Galicia.
Same thing that Hunter
Because,
was with, right?
yes, because this person here, Severin, helped establish a memorial in Edmonton that
To a
you can
Nazi?
go to.
Yeah,
Well, to the unit.
to the unit, yeah. A unit
So
of Nazis.
now, I'm mentioning this for two reasons. One, because we do have a past, and we're looking at it, and we probably have to start reckoning with it somewhat.
Mhm.
But also that everybody is losing their minds about this incident in the House of Commons, which, again, I remind everyone, PP seems to be one of the only people who feels he doesn't need to apologize for his own
Yes.
applause, even though he wants the Prime Minister to apologize for, well, seems to want him to apologize more for himself than for the nation, really. And after not accepting any of those apologies, then demands an apology for the veterans.
Look, it's okay when PP does it, but it's not okay if anybody else does it.
Yes, but it's just to mention that we let them in. There are memorials to the
Yeah,
units
yeah.
that have
I
been
think there's
around
isn't
for
there one in Kitchener-Waterloo as well? I could be
Hamilton area, I believe. I think it is.
yeah. That's
Um,
southeastern Ontario.
yeah.
Southwestern Ontario, sorry.
Yeah. So there are two like this that
Mhm.
have been around for
Mhm.
decades
Yes, a long,
that you
long
can go
time.
to. Like this, but we're losing our minds now.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Some we're learning some received the Order of Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. For their lives in Canada, what they did while they were here. But that doesn't erase what they did when they were there.
Well, I mean, we still fed Werner von Braun, who, the X-2 rocket, the guy who basically built NASA's rockets to get, the space race won. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's no secret. It's a well-known fact. So I guess we'll celebrate some people and not celebrate others. Like, if one makes us money, we're okay.
Yeah, I know. So Severin is one of roughly 2,000 Waffen SS members who hastily came to Canada. And some of the controversy is due to the fact that they were screened by the British at the time, but only very briefly. It had been estimated at the time that several months would be needed to do full screenings, but they were only given a few weeks at the time. Why that is, I don't know, because I'm not a historian, and hopefully, Kit, Hugh and I were talking about this some time ago, so hopefully we might be able to get a moment with him. It's a little harder on weekdays because, well, he's a teacher and
He's a
getting
teacher.
ready to go to school, so we'll have to arrange a time. But it would be nice to talk a little bit about that. Maybe for what we're planning for Veterans Day, and not Veterans Day, Remembrance Day. Veterans Day. Whoa, boy, I'm talking about veterans, but yeah, that's a US thing. All right. So, yes, they were screened, and they had a very short period of time to do something that would have taken several months. So, yeah, Ottawa is now conducting a review, considering whether it should release all the names of post war immigrants with past Nazi ties that were concealed in the 1980 independent inquiry. Yeah. I think that this is a good idea, and its time has come.
My only my only concern here
Hmm.
is so I'm sure many of these married and had children
Yes.
and probably have grandchildren.
Yes.
And it's going to
Uh,
blow back on them, and they had nothing to do with it. So there's where my concern lies.
and that you and the immigration minister are on the same page on that. Mark Miller now,
Hmm.
who's the
Hmm.
immigration minister, is quoted as saying there are several considerations, including the fact that some of the people named in the report may still be alive, along with their family members. I think people want answers. There's some work to do to get to the truth, and that's something that has to be done in a careful, thought out fashion.
Hmm.
Because the way that the world works today,
Yeah.
right? Someone's associated with someone, and all of a sudden they get flooded with death threats and.
They get canceled, and yeah. And it's like, how's that fair to the grandchildren? They had nothing to do with this.
Mhm.
Same thing with the children. Now, are any of the children Nazis? I doubt that very much. Who
Well, I
knows?
mean,
Could
I
be
mean,
their
if
ideology. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm
but
sure many of them that came here tried to hide that past, right?
I would assume,
And lived in the shadows. So they probably didn't highlight it to their children
yeah,
because their children, who would have been boomers, knew all about Nazis and their atrocities.
yeah. So I mean, and maybe a lot of them did live in the shadows, but in these particular cases, I mean, this person came to Canada and led a life such that it ended up getting him not only the Order of Canada, but I think got a golden and diamond jubilee medal as well.
Yeah.
So this guy
So,
was you had to be somewhat prominent in your community. Now it could be that he left all that stuff behind and never spoke of it again, just as well,
mhm.
right? But it takes all kinds. Some people remained quiet, maybe. Some people were just maybe just grateful to be here and never speak of it again. Maybe some people thought, haha, I got away with it. And
Yeah,
then
we
maybe
don't
some
know.
people came around and said, you know what, this part of my life is over. I'm coming here, I'm starting a new life, and I'm going to be a good citizen and contributed in the way that this person did, such that they would get an Order of Canada. But whatever
Mhm.
the life after 1945 was, those years happened, and the things that were done were things that were done.
Well, I think that's why Mark Miller's words are, we have to look at this very carefully and be cautious because, maybe they'll release the names of people who didn't have families. I don't know. It's like I said, children and grandchildren, and maybe even some cases great grandchildren, had nothing to do with this, but they'll have to wear that because that's their name attached to it. They didn't have any choice in this matter.
Hmm.
You know, I just literally in this case, think of the children.
No,
Literally.
but here's the thing. The other thing with opening this type of stuff up is that, again, in this world that we live in, the way that things happen now,
Hmm.
right? What's the question that we're asking about the son of Mr. Hunka?
Hmm.
Surely the son must have known what his dad did.
Well, his dad didn't exactly hide it. So,
So again, right? But then you get the whole question, right? The torch and pitchfork mob.
mhm.
It's like, there's no way they couldn't have known. There's no way the dad could not have told. They must have known that their dad was a Nazi. No, 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 I can't believe that there's any realm that where it's possible where someone didn't know. Dad must have let it slip at least once, or the kids must have felt it, or right. All those things that people say in order to justify doing horrible things, when they fill in the blanks with what they need to be true in order to
Mhm.
justify what they're going to say or do next. So this can create a mess. There's no doubt this can create a mess. But then again, we are also talking about we're hitting an era where there are fewer and fewer and fewer people alive from that era who can say with their own voice what it was that was like.
Mhm.
And there are generations now where it's like Holocaust. What was that? It's like me in the gay community where we have these young gaylings come along and they go, Barbara Streisand, Judy Garland, and we're like, come with me, my child. We must we must instruct you and tell you about the ways and inform you of your history, my child. It's like this. It's like the Holocaust was like, oh my God, you poor kid, come on, let's inform you. Right? There's there is probably some good societal value in using this opportunity to bring some people up to speed who may have not been taught by the generation that went through it directly
Hmm.
what it was about. But there's, as the proverb goes, I'm not sure if it's the same in English as it is in French, but in French, on ne peut pas faire d'omelette sans casser deux. You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs.
That's very true.
So if we do look into this, it is going to be messy, and some people are going to take advantage of this to do nasty shit.
You know,
That's a reality. I guess because I want to say, because everybody, there's a moral argument here.
Mhm.
You have to do the right thing. Yes, but you have to do the right thing in the right way.
Well,
You
this
can't
is
just do the right
thing.
way any which way and damn the consequences to everybody else, right?
That's
Because
wrong.
this is going to be messy if we do this.
Well, you do realize that kids who don't know about the Holocaust today is astonishing to me, because when the Allied soldiers discovered what was going on, because they didn't exactly know about the concentration camps, right? When they found out about them, the Supreme Allied Commander, General Dwight D. Eisenhower, who later became the President of the United States, sent in journalists, photo crews, writers. He says, I want everything photographed, cataloged, filmed, recorded for history, because he said some son of a bitch is going to come along some day and deny this ever happened. He says, photograph everything.
Yep.
This is an atrocity. Photograph everything so we never forget it. And you had people trying to deny it within 10 years. There are people today who still try and deny it.
Yeah.
So to tell me today that there are young children who don't know what the Holocaust was is astonishing. And it's a failure of our education system. If you could enlighten us as to what goes on to the curriculum for Canadian school children, I would love to know, because if they don't know about this, we have failed as a society to teach them right and wrong.
Well, not only that, like the other day I was listening to a Bill Maher thing,
Mhm.
and he was relating a story about how the Biden administration, and a lot of people are laughing at this, but if you think about it, it's really smart. They reached out to a whole bunch of YouTube influencers and TikTok influencers and brought them to the White House, gave them a tour and all that kind of stuff. Like people that have
Mhm.
followings of like 80 million,
Mhm.
right? And they're sitting there going, wow, it's really interesting to get to know how government works.
Mhm.
Like, and he's like sitting there, and it's like, all these higher function type things. Like these two people don't even know government. How the hell do you expect, right? It's like that other thing, that other comment, like we were talking about, like about the transgender kids, said, like grooming them. The teachers are going grooming them. God, we can't even get them to put on deodorant. It's like, how the hell are we going to get them to change from male to female? It's like, it takes us everything that we get to open their eyes to the wonders of deodorant. Again, thank you, Madame Leclerc.
Yeah.
Thank you. You changed my life. So, right, when we're talking about the civics, people, these people are like 22, 24, 25. They're influencers. They have 80 million people listening to them like this. And, I think that we should do that. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. That's how government works? Whoa. This is where we're at? How
Mhm.
government works?
Yeah.
Like, and he was going like back as like he says, I remember kids. I'm just a bill. It's like we were at bills. Now we're like how government works. Man, we've taken a few steps back.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
yep. Kitland M says it is dangerous to begin glossing over the Holocaust and Nazi history. Now that there are fewer and fewer veterans and Holocaust survivors, this history has to stay real so it won't be repeated. Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. Mike H. Yep. Yeah. My ex-wife has two grandfathers that served under Hitler. One worked in a labor camp. The other was sent to Russia. One hated Hitler. One hated, I would guess, Hitler. One
Mhm.
idolized him. My ex-wife is not a Nazi. And I think there was another comment down I saw earlier saying, dig back in all our family histories long enough, we're going to probably find someone horrible.
Mhm. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Probably.
I don't
So
know much about my
99%
family
chance we're going to
history.
find someone horrible somewhere along the way.
Well, I really don't know much about my family history on either my mom or my dad's side. I really don't. I know some little bits here and there, but I think there was somebody on my father's side who did like the family tree thing, and they traced it back to like, I don't know, 12 something in England, and this was the teetotaling, Bible thumping wing of my father's family. And when they found out that somebody owned a pub in England back in like 1220 or something, that was it. They stopped. They searched no more further. No, didn't happen. Didn't happen. Just wanted to gloss that over. So and even then, I still don't know much about my family history on either side. I'm told I'm Irish, English, Scottish, French, and I believe I've been told we have some African ancestry in there because we were part of the Underground Railroad at some point in time. That's all I know. That literally is all I know. I don't know anything more than that. I don't know who came here when. I don't know how any of that took place. I know I'm fifth generation, but that's it. I just don't know. I never did. It
Yeah.
was never the thing we talked about. I know my grandmother on my mother's side was related to Joe Kennedy.
Okay.
So she never spoke about that because she couldn't stand him because he was a gangster, rum runner, violent criminal.
Ah.
I'm
Yep.
like, but would that mean we're related to Jack Kennedy, JFK? Well, we don't talk about that. I'm like, okay.
That I know of, we have no interesting stories. The most interesting story that I know of is that my dad was a boxer and he fought at Maple Leaf Gardens twice.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yep. Other than that, and some guy named Scipio Connors arrived on a boat from somewhere.
Okay.
That's it. um, and then, so we have that one part of the story, and then another little thread, interesting one that's probably not getting a lot of play. But remember that whole kerfuffle with the Trudeau Foundation? They accepted some donations from Chinese businessmen, and then we found out that there was a Chinese interference thing. Well, not that we found out, but news became public because, let's face it, anybody was paying attention knew China was trying to interfere. That's been the case for decades. But anyway, and then all of a sudden that became like, oh, it's a bad thing. There's a donation that came from two people who happen to come from a country that happens to do these types of things. So, ooh, this money is tainted and this organization is terrible and everybody associated with it is like the spawn of Satan. Well, turns out that the University of Alberta, oh my, received a $30,000 donation from somebody who lived in Canada, who is perhaps maybe kind of actually really truly associated with one of these types of units or these types of activities. And the university returned the scholarship fund, much like the Trudeau Foundation returned that money. But
Of course. Yeah.
the Conservatives don't seem to be as incensed about the University of Alberta having accepted money from a alleged Nazi, or pretty much confirmed Nazi, when the Trudeau Foundation accepted money from two businessmen who happen to live in China, but we know nothing about it, whether or not they're communist or work for the party or anything whatsoever. But there's more confirmation that the person that donated, who might have been a Nazi, actually was a Nazi, than the people from China who do business, who donated to a scholarship foundation had any association with the actual government of the People's Republic of China. And exactly. And then we have the dining and brunching with Nazi, or okay, let's not say Nazi then, but extreme far right
Nazi
person.
ideologue.
Yes, who came here and then came back for a second visit versus.
Right? Like nothing.
And then we had all that kerfuffle about that donation that was given to that organization, but that guy who was really more pro-Palestinian and was talking about Jewish Nazis. And then, but we asked for the money back and open an investigation is what you should do in these types of cases. And they tried to milk that for a month. And then we have more crickets, I believe. And thou,
Sorry, I missed the pad.
yes. And now in like within the space of weeks, we have a Nazi, again, we're saying, who was honored in the House of Commons, and a university that accepted money from, and we saw the Holy Fewer for one, and the for the other
Yeah. Yeah.
within days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because there were months between Nazi brunch and Nazi in the house. But there were days between Nazi in the house and finding out that the University of Alberta, homeland of this movement. But nobody losing their minds. It's like, oh yeah, you give the money back. Yeah, that's cool. Good. When you're using a sliding scale, especially on something like Nazism.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and let's not forget the convoys and all those swastikas that keep on appearing everywhere every time somebody marches for children. Because not only did the children not ask you to march for them, they certainly didn't ask you to bring a swastika. I can tell you that.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure most 5-year-olds don't even know the word swastika. And if
One
they
would
do,
think.
it's probably because mommy and daddy taught them and not in a positive way. Huh? So, yeah, it's, yeah. It's not, this is not, it's not good. It's not messy. So it's not good. It is messy. If we look into it, there's going to be people that are going to try to take advantage of this and exploit this. So, I mean, we can't close our eyes. But if we do actually want to look at it, and if we're looking, like I mentioned, at the historical benefit of being able to address this in this particular time and try to use this opportunity, right? The whole concept of never let a crisis go to waste.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a crisis, and just as some people can use it to exploit, there is an opportunity as well to use it to educate. Right? It's the wolf you feed. Again, given the opportunity. Um, it might be time. How would I put it? If we were living in a world 10 years ago, I would have absolutely no problem saying, "Hey, let's open up those books."
Mm.
But the way that people are behaving now, where the first one to rush to a microphone and say the most insane thing wins.
Mhm.
They mix that with any opening up of anything having to do with Nazi. Prepare the cold compresses right away. You know it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
You know it's going to happen. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here for you today, my friends?
I have a video clip I got to show you from that we missed the other night from the Manitoba election. This is a thing of beauty.
Yes.
I'm
Oh.
Dougal Lamont, and I'm the former leader of the Manitoba Liberal Party. I'm going to be stepping down.
It's very difficult to lead when you don't have a seat in the legislature. Do you feel that it's...
What are you talking about?
to lead? Are you going to continue to lead your party?
I just resigned.
Yeah, and that's what I mean in terms of...
Sorry, I just resigned.
I understand that, and I was saying it's very difficult to lead
Yes.
when you don't have a seat. So as you look to the future...
I'm Dougal.
Okay.
Ouch.
I know what she was trying to get at, but oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, now that you've lost your seat, it will be difficult for you to lead the party.
Yeah.
But yeah, she.
That was awkward.
Ooh, yeah, that did not come right. Like I see where she was going,
Mm-hmm.
but I also the words that came out of her mouth were not the words she intended to say, and the words that came out of the
Clearly.
mouth were definitely WTF.
You think?
It's like I had a seat. I was leading. What the hell?
Yeah. Super awkward.
I shouldn't laugh because it happens to the best of us. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the look on his
It's just
face, like,
I know.
like what? I just resigned. I
But
quit.
you know what? I think that's more a testament of what it was like being the leader of a third party with just 33 seats for 4 years. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're here. Yeah, I guess we should ask you what you think, eh? Right? It just seems that was probably all the attention he got, like, for 4 years. So he's like, turned around. Did you have a seat? Really? I've been here 4 years. I've been right here.
Yeah, the whole time.
It's just,
What are you going on about? You missed it. We were here the whole time. I
oh,
was always here.
I said this guy deserved so much better.
Mm,
This,
yeah. Well, and here's the thing, though. I get what she was trying to say, but his reaction and the way she responded to it is like, was she paying attention a few minutes ago when he stepped down? Or was she on her phone tweeting about something and missed that whole exchange? That was the vibe I got from it.
yeah.
That's why she asked the question, because she wasn't paying attention and didn't know. That's the vibe I got from it. Now, I could be completely wrong, but that was my take.
Yep.
Like, she just wasn't paying attention. He stepped down. She missed that whole exchange and then proceeded to ask him a question that made her look stupid.
Oh,
Like,
man.
because she wasn't paying attention.
Shit. Oh, man, that's the I keep on saying I live for the awkward moment. So if there's an evil Queen Beaver in me right now, she's kind of happy.
Oh, I have another thing for you here. This is a tweet from OPS,
Oh, man.
the Ottawa Police Service,
Okay.
because there was a skirmish yesterday on the hill. So check this out. I'm going to put this on the screen and I'll read it. This is yesterday afternoon, and they tweeted this at 10 p.m. last night. Late this afternoon, Ottawa police were on scene in the area of Parliament Hill to ensure public safety was maintained during a demonstration. Some protesters were using large speakers and loud hailers, I don't know what a loud hailer is, in contravention of bylaws. After various interactions with police, 3 people were arrested for obstruction and later released on conditions. While it is the duty of police to support legal demonstrations, we will not tolerate behaviors that endanger public safety or violations of the Criminal Code, bylaws, or Liquor License and Control Act. So the OPS is stepping up this time when they failed us back in January and February of 2022. And they know how badly they failed. They know how badly they failed, because I have a friend who was a police officer and he was ready to quit. A 30-plus year career. He was literally on the verge of quitting and walking away during that time frame, because he's like, I can't do my job. They're holding me back from doing my job. He was incredibly frustrated, and he's like, I'm ready to bail. Throw away a 30-year career because it was so poorly mismanaged by the chief, who told everybody to stand down, and keep things in order. It's like we're overwhelmed and we're not allowed to do our job. So part of the process now is to let the citizens of Ottawa know, and the Canadian public at large, that we're not going to tolerate a bunch of ignorant individuals coming into this city and holding it hostage ever again. Ever. It's
Ever.
never going to happen. You'll all be arrested when you try and block the streets and obstruct the lives of innocents who live in the downtown core, the Centertown area of Ottawa, which, by the way, is the poorest ward in the city of Ottawa. By far. It's not even up for debate. So understand this, ignorant horde of Save the Children Convoy or Save the Freedom Convoy children or whatever the hell you call yourself today. You're not going to ever do that shit again. The city won't let it happen. Our OPS will not let it happen. And the citizens will not. We will not stand idly by, as demonstrated by yesterday.
Yep.
So even though they keep telling us we're going to be here every day, okay, who's funding that? Are we funding that? Is that taxpayer dollars funding that? Or are they grifting somebody? We're not going to tolerate it. Not happening.
Yep. Absolutely. How are we doing for time, Mr. Grizzly?
15 minutes.
All right. Let's see what we have else then for you. The news. Oh, yes. It seems that the federal government is now also considering how to conduct a potential search of the Prairie Green landfill in not Nova Scotia, in Manitoba. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm doing some weird things today with my brain. After the win of Mr. Canoe, so the new Indigenous Crown Minister, Gary Ananda Sangri. I'm getting better at saying it. It's going to take me a little bit again, but I'm going to get it. Ananda Sangri has announced an additional $740,000 of money that will go towards finding out more about how we can go about this, I would guess, because they already funded. The federal government had already funded a feasibility study that said that it does have risks. Heather Stephenson was not lying about that, and that it could cost several $1 million. But we have done that before.
It's not the
for
first
other
time, and it
people.
won't be the last.
Yeah,
Let's make it happen.
we've searched pig farms. We've searched It's yeah, it's they have to study the issues of biohazards and biowaste more carefully to see if it indeed could go ahead or what are the full precautions that would be needed if they needed to go ahead with that. But it looks like the idea of the search of the landfill is not dead yet. And it hasn't been reported a lot, but the people who actually own the landfill actually were able to, um, I guess, based on tracking when things came back and during the days, they knew around what part of the landfill uh, the bodies could be in and sectioned that part off, and nobody has had access to it since. So there was more stuff that was piled on top for some days until they realized that that's where it could be, but they haven't been dumping any more stuff on it on top of that since then. You know, we don't hear about that a lot. What about the owners of the landfill? The owners of the landfill seem that they have been more than decent uh, when it comes to this. So that would make the search easier than it would have otherwise been if waste had been piled on top of that all this time in addition. Yeah, they said that the new study will take about 90 days to complete, and then they will have more news for us. In addition, I believe that we will be hearing later today or very soon, today, on the federal government's effort to lower grocery prices. If you remember, when the federal government came back from the summer break, they had announced some housing some housing funding and programs. And one clever thing that they're doing is if you're watching TV, or particularly if you're on the web, there are these little 15 or 20-second spots about another project being funded somehow, another project being funded somehow. So when I was mentioning when the government was making these little announcements, how it could lead to other little announcements and a very extensive campaign to let Canadians know what was being doing, highlighting each individual project. This is what's going on right now with that. But on the food issue, they had talked to the CEOs, and they came in and they were looking for a plan by Thanksgiving. Now you got PP going around going, Justin Trudeau promised that he would lower your food prices by Thanksgiving. No, what he
And
promised is that
then
the
said turkeys
grocers
were
would be
120.
Yes. What he promised is that the grocers would be coming with the elements to start putting together the plan of action by Thanksgiving. Not that they would be lowered. Right. So he's, again, directly and deliberately outright lying.
Yeah, he's not even being
Just
creative
lying.
anymore. Just
Just
lying,
lying.
flat out.
Just making it up. So we're going to probably
I'm sick of it.
hear an update today on what it is that they found and what measures might be able to be put in place. I don't know exactly what they're going to report back on, but obviously they're findings up until now. And NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is predictably, but as one would expect from an NDP leader taking his position, quote, I see no chance at all that greedy CEOs that have driven up the cost of food and making rougher profits will in any way on their own bring down the price of food. So Mr. Singh's favorite word appears to be forced. We forced the government to do this. If it wasn't for us, the government wouldn't have done it. We forced it. We forced it. We need to force the grocery things. We need to force. Force seems to be his.
Sounds dictatorial, don't you think?
In a way, like this. But you have to remember, right? Mr. Singh is walking two lines. One, keeping the government going while also trying to create some contrast for his base. So everything that gets done under the supply and confidence agreement necessarily has to be framed as something that the NDP forced the government to do, kicking and screaming. It never would have done it otherwise if it were not for the NDP. That's how he's maximized the power that he's got, right? So it is his best play. The problem is just the constant overreach. And like David Wallace says, the bit of whorishness about the way he goes about it. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, of course, the grocers will not on their own bring down the price of food. They need some type of motivation of some kind. So, of course, somebody has to come in and force them by providing that motivation. But I mean, like,
Well, I need to ask because Cassie Lake here in the chat. Cassie's a farmer, and Cassie is suggested that cost of food is up, but farmers' take home is down as we can't pass on the input costs. I'm curious about the carbon regulatory fee, or as Pierre Poilievre likes to call it, the carbon tax. I'm told that farmers don't pay that by some people, and others say yes they do, and then I read about it online from the government website, and apparently farmers do not pay the carbon regulatory fee. Cassie, any way to enlighten us on that? Because I don't expect an immediate answer, no rush. I'm just curious from somebody who actually is a farmer, who was just harvesting. What is the situation there? You do pay it, okay?
We pay it. Is there a refund mechanism? Like, do you front it and then it gets refunded somehow, or do you just pay it and you have to absorb it?
Yeah, because we don't know how that works exactly,
Yeah,
and
not at all.
it's good to get that straight from the farmer's mouth, literally.
Yeah. But there are all these steps along the way, right? There's what you pay the growers, and then the producers, and then the shipping costs, and they're okay. It's absorbed.
Yeah. And they don't, as Pierre keeps saying, they have to pass that on. No, apparently not.
Apparently not. Not everyone, at least.
Is it the meat packing plants for beef farmers? Is it the grocery stores that are, because of the carbon tax we have to increase prices, whereas we got it straight from a farmer's mouth. Well,
There,
fingertips actually in this case, but
there's
but
something not related to the actual production of food.
that's right. Cost of
Okay.
food is up. Farmers' take home is down as we can't pass on the input costs.
Yeah.
So
Cassie
it's
said,
somebody's picking our pockets somewhere, and it's not the farmers, obviously.
Saucy, you're right there. I was just about to say that. Cassie may be a good interview in the future, straight from the farmer's mouth. Cassie, if ever you would like to
We'd love to do
come on the
that.
show, we would love to do that. Rural Canada definitely does not get enough attention.
And we'd like to provide a spotlight on you. So if you'd love to come on the show, it doesn't have to be live. We can record something on a Sunday. You can do it anonymously. You don't have to be on camera. I can even disguise your voice. If you are comfortable or uncomfortable, you let us know. We would love to interview you, though. We really would.
Yeah. So Cassie says as well, everything that operates our machinery and grain dryers is diesel powered. So for those that want us to go green, it's not that easy.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, when's the last time you sat down? Think about that. Like this, we sometimes see on the news, like an interview, like on a 2-minute segment. But when's the last time you've seen somebody sit down and have like a 30-minute or an hour chat with a farmer on the news?
I've never seen
But
it.
what it was like, really.
So Cassie, if you want, we're amenable to having you on whenever you want. We'll work within your schedule, and you tell us how you want it to go, and we'll make it happen. We would love to spend some time just chatting with you, getting to know you, and not only that, getting it straight from, from your lips to our ears.
We'll give it some thought.
Yeah, cool.
So
I
you're
like it.
saying there's a chance. Okay. What?
No, that was adorable. That was adorable.
All right, Mr. Grizzly, is it time? Do we have a shout?
Yeah, I think so. I was looking for something else to show you, but let's. No, I'm not going to give them airtime. I'm not going to give them airtime.
Let's not do that.
No.
Then I got one thing for you. Unfortunately, Mr. Grizzly, it would appear that the Toronto Blue Jays season is indeed over.
Is it over, or are they just in serious doubt? I thought they had one more kick the can.
No, it seems that they were eliminated.
Okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Mr. Grizzly, it seems it was one of those matches where everything that could possibly go wrong did go wrong. There were some very interesting decisions being made, and a lot of people were not happy at all with. And it seems that our good friends from Scooby-Doo pulled off the Blue Jays mask and found the Toronto Maple Leafs underneath.
Not really surprised.
I had a comment on that one. It's like hits a little too close to home.
Well, so we were talking with a buddy about that last night. He was saying, John Schneider, the manager, did the same thing he did last year. He pulled the pitcher too early, and I'm like, yeah, because I was watching their elimination game last year, and it's like, why are you pulling the pitcher? Yeah, I know statistically he's throwing 100 pitches. Time to pull him. I'm like, but he has momentum on his side. You should leave him in.
Right?
No, we're going to go by the metrics. Pulled him, put in the reliever. That was it. It was done.
Go with the feel, man.
Apparently, the same thing happened. I didn't see it last night.
You
so.
always got to go with the feel. Jeez. Man, I don't understand people, man. You go with the feel.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Vladdy Guerrero's up for a contract renewal, and apparently he wants $350 million over 10 years. But Over the last 3 seasons, his production has diminished. So it's going to be hard pressed to get that contract. It might be negotiated down a bit.
Oh,
Baseball players make a lot of money. $35 million a year is not unheard of in baseball.
that is indeed true. Um, Also in the news, today will be the day that the Nobel Prize for Literature is announced, and it seems that the buzz on the tweet is that Margaret Atwood is among one of the favorites this year. Also, Burton Salman Rushdie was there, and a couple of other people, Japan's Haruki Murakami. But it seems that with everything that's going on in the world and Margaret Atwood's book, The Handmaid's Tale, of course. Now, the Nobel is not for like one particular book. Well, it's usually for your body of work. But given that the whole world is having handmade feels at the moment, it seems that, yes, that the buzz has been on that she is one of the top contenders this year. So we wish her good luck. That would definitely be something to celebrate. And the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded yesterday to 3 physicists, Pierre Agostini, Ferenc Krauss, and Anne L'Huillier, who received the prize for their work in using laser pulses to track movements that happen in 1/quintillionth of a second, thus being able to produce the first glimpse of hyperfast electrons. Quote, "We capture very quickly in real time processes that are happening in the microscopic world, just as you photograph a Formula One racing car with a fast camera as it runs through the finish line. You need a camera with a very short exposure time. This is exactly the concept we use for the fastest movements that happen in nature outside the atomic nucleus, which is the movement of electrons." And they say that the research could lead to breakthroughs in a wide variety of fields, from medical diagnostics to developing electronics. So there you go. Nobel Week. Because science is cool, kids. And smart is cool, kids.
So, just going to add, I'm not showing the video, but I'm going to add a little context to a statement here. Some idiot name goes by the tag of @rightblend on Twitter, or X as people are calling it. An elderly protester is tased by Ottawa police multiple times after being subdued. The officer then points his deployed taser weapon, prong still inside the senior, into a crowd of people. Chaos ensues. This elderly protester might be 45. Maybe 45. You call me elderly, I might punch you in the face to show you how young I actually am.
Whoa. 45, elderly.
This guy can't be more than 45.
Who wrote the article?
Oh, Patriot Smoothie. I'll send it to you.
Is he 12?
I'll send you a DM. Oh, easily. You look at this video. I just sent you the DM. Look at this video, and it's like, there's no way that guy's elderly. He's younger than I am.
Now I'm wondering. Oh man, elderly. All right, Mr. Grizzly, do we have a show?
Kim Kardashian is almost 45.
Oh my God, she's
Call
an
her
antique.
elderly and watch what happens.
Yeah, really. Jeez. All right, kids and cubs.
It's a video. It's 4.5 minutes. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put a link to the video in the chat for those who want to see it. I'm not going to play it because I've already watched it. I don't want to see it again, quite honestly, and I just don't want to give them any more oxygen. Personally, if you want to click on the link in the chat, feel free. Right. This guy's not elderly. Trust me when I say that.
We have from Kit Tabby G here, goes completely off topic, but for great entertainment, Project Hail Mary audiobook is wonderful. It gives it a 100.
Cool.
Kits, if there's anything that you are reading or have read that you would recommend for kits who like to read, please let us know. We're happy to pass on your recommendations. But Kim K's butt parts are brand new. Oh,
well,
Cassie getting saucy.
Hey, look, she's got the money. She wants to pay for it. Let her. I'm not going to argue. You can do whatever you want. Look, if I had the money, I'd get my teeth fixed and I might get hair transplants, but I don't have the money.
Oh, your Queen Beaver's vein. It's like when it starts to sag, I'm definitely paying to get it jacked up.
Look, I'm never going to do that, but I would like to have a full head of flowing hair again and nice teeth. But between the two of them, we're like $50,000 to $60,000, and I don't have that.
No.
I'm not that vain.
Yeah, no, neither am I really. I'm actually going to try the grow old gracefully type thing. Then if it
That
doesn't
was my
work,
goal.
then if it doesn't work, then I will get it jacked up because I am still a little bit vain.
Well, I thought grow old gracefully would have been I'd start to lose my hair around this age instead of losing it, in my late 30s.
Hey, you got a head start. I'm here all week. All right, kids, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. We hope that you love listening to us because I love making this for you. We love making this for you. There you go. Kid Tim, I was bald at 21. There you go. You have some you have some friends tugging his dad jokes. Dad jokes, bad puns, groaners. I'm your guy. I love them. Because sharing is caring. Please share the word about us because word of mouth is priceless. And, well, you know what you do for us, and we know what you do for us, and we really appreciate it. So just please keep it coming. We're grateful because democracy is something that you do. Sorry, pardon me. I'll be right back with you.
Oh, he's coughing.
There we go. Because
You okay?
yeah, I had a grenouille in my gorge,
Oh,
a frog in my throat. Because democracy is something that you do. If you have a bit of loose change in your pockets, please donate to the Red Cross to help our brothers and sisters who have suffered tornadoes and fires and floods and sometimes both or two of them this year. It's been quite a year. The Copernicus environmental unit in Europe has declared that September was also the warmest September in the planet's history. So that's the warmest June, July, August, and September in
there you
history
go.
that we've just gone through. So, yep, if you can, that would be really great. And of course, write your MPs, your MLAs, your MPPs, your senators, your media. Keep their toes to the fire. Let them know which stories you want covered and what quality that you want. Because you like to subscribe to things, well, then we have our pod page right there. That's squiggly. That's right beside me. That's sponsored by the fabulous, the wonderful, the wondrous, the Ray Girl. Always good for a follow. You should follow the Ray Girl. Please subscribe
You
to that.
should.
And since you like to subscribe, make like hit Elaine and go to the True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel. And we have 3 buttons there. Like, share, subscribe. Our 3 favorite words other than, Miss Grizzly?
Free beer today.
Yes, sir. And that's where you can show us a little bit of love. We're getting really, really close to the 400. So, hey, help us out. Hey, Kid
I got to do
Pete.
some shorts when I get time. I haven't had time in the last few days, and I was in bed at 9:00 last
Yeah.
night, so I'm behind on some production and editing work. So I'll see what I can do to get
That's
it done.
good. That's good. All good.
It's going to have to be tomorrow. I won't have time
That's all
tonight.
good. All good. Hey, Kid Pete. Lovely to see you. And let's see what else do we have. Oh yeah, the coffee. Well, that's quickly by Mr. Grizzly's head here. So if you would like to encourage us to do more, produce a better quality product, well, then you scan that with your phone, or if you're listening, you go to ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters, all in one word, and that's where you can contribute to the Beaver Lodge Emergency Hydration Fund to keep us humected. That way,
Sure. I'll go with that.
I have to, I broke out the thesaurus. I can't always use the M word. I have to,
Mhm.
because it loses its effect after a while.
Yeah,
Right,
you can thin it
Gotta
out.
thin it out. Yeah. The M word.
Mega?
All right. All right. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your eager beaver saying it could be a tough world out there, kids and cubs. So please be kind to and gentle with yourself, because if you're not going to, who else is going to? Right? Show
True.
yourself some love.
Very true.
Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom for us today?
Yeah, remember, civics is really important. So if you have the opportunity to learn something about civics today, or in turn teach something to someone about civics, please do so.
Make sure you know your
You can
stuff.
do it
though.
with make sure you know what you're talking about. Don't spew rhetoric you've heard somewhere. Actually, do the reading to make sure you're up to date with whatever topic it is you want to speak about. If you're just doing it from memory, you might get things wrong, as I often do. So I always go back and read. I say read because research is actually a field that I don't work in. I have friends who are actual researchers. Librarians are researchers, by the way. I have a friend who works for the Library of Parliament. She is a professional researcher by trade. That's what she does. The rest of us are just readers for the most part. So if you can teach a civics lesson today or learn a civics lesson today, that'd be wonderful.
Miss Grizzly, please roll them credits. You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. All right, Mr. Grizzly, I have an interesting little Easter egg for the kids, if you would allow it. Oh, come on.
Well, I would, but you took the screen away.
Yep, there it goes. I had the wrong one. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, is it up?
You want to blow that up?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up. There we go. Okay, go ahead. It would seem that, there's no sound. There's no sound. I don't know why there's no sound. There's no sound.
All right. Okay, then we'll try that again another day. That's twice now. So I'm guessing, I'm just going to have to send them to you.
Yeah, you're going to have to check in your settings and see when you go to share a screen, there might be in the bottom left-hand corner a little thing that says share audio. If you look at it, share tab audio or share audio.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you can have tab, window, or entire screen in the bottom left-hand. You got to check that says share audio. If you don't check that, nothing will work.
Oh, okay. I didn't see anything there that said share audio, unfortunately. All right. We'll try it again tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, kids. Bye.
Just going to show this, then I'll show this. This was from our friend David Wallace yesterday. Was in Twitter jail for a bit, or is it Zalcatraz now? Anyways, at Leon Musk. I did that on purpose. You're shaped like a pear. You have false hair, and missing a few hours on this app hardly left me in despair, so you can kiss my dairy hair.
Dairy. D-A-I-R-Y.
Yes. You know he did that intentionally, right?
My milky bottom.
Yes, exactly. All right. I'll see you.